How's it going, guys? This is the Dragon Warrior Randomizer Winter League 2026 Week 5. This is the Group 6 race, and it is all to play for here. You got two options, either win or go home. The winner of this race will go to the playoffs with either 15 points or 15 and a half, and everyone else will go home because 13 and a half is not enough. So fighting for that honor are Destiny of a Dragon Warrior, Synth, Edge, and ic10as. And Destiny might be joining me in the booth a little bit here because this is a vodcast. This race already happened, but he has promised me that he won't spoil anything. And we've got Velia V on the restream, and it looks like Shihali and NG Dave on tracking for you tonight. So this should be an exciting race. It's week 5, which means Stair Shuffle is on, which is my favorite flag. So this should be really, really exciting.
Yeah, we'll see if the pattern continues of early grinding weak enemies, avoiding mega dungeon exploration, see how much of a mega dungeon exploration will be needed, how trouble it is to find the bottom of Sharlock, and we are off! See what our starting items are.
See, I see fairy water and an herb besides the usual key. Saw 12 strength, 11 MP, and doesn't look like there are any spells besides... Okay, there's outside besides Radiant and Repel. And woo, that is an interesting start there, right in the corner of Sharlock on this little spit of land, and slimes showering our players with experience right out of the gate.
Synth got taken out by a Drakey with Hurtmore, so unfortunately while the other three were able to get a little bit of experience and get off the ground, a little bit of a delay there for Synth.
Those Metal Scorpions pretty solid too, dropping 108. I'm going up through those levels, Destiny level 5, Edge level 6. Icy level 6, and it looks like Synth just got up on the board there, jumping from level 1 to level 4. And there's 114 from the Droll, so a number of solid options right here in this starting zone. Hurt is now available. With these rapid level ups, the spells have not been coming in super early. It looks like Heal More activated there at level 7.
That'll open up some opening of doors, taking down enemies without a problem.
That was Heal More. I suppose you would know, but no Hurt More yet as of level 7.
Ah, Heal More instead of Hurt More. That's a little bit of an important distinction. Looks like Edge and ic10as is going to take their first steps out and confirm that this land does loop up and all the way around into a big patch of swamp. Haven't confirmed if it connects to Sharlock yet.
Yeah, that is one of the other flags that's on, is that big old swamp. So, yeah, Erdrick's armor can be even more valuable than usual. Will make walking around this overworld much more agreeable. And some divergence of strategy with Destiny and Synth staying in that starting zone to keep racking up experience, while Icy and Edge are a little more antsy to get out, and Icy is punished for it, getting walloped by a werewolf in sight of a location, and Edge getting a similar treatment from a Wraith.
Yeah, even with Heal More, I didn't want to press out with low HP and not being able to take down any treasure guards, because even if I found something, it was going to be treasure guarded, and you have to take down one of those enemies to acquire, even if it's sword or armor. So, yeah, we've seen that divergence in some of the races, and we have that here again, where myself and Synth sticking around to the grind, ic10as and Edge pushing exploration and finding 2 locations already.
Yeah, it's a thing. Another one of the flags we got on is the small map. So exploration can be pretty quickly rewarding, and that's exactly what's happening here with Garenham showing up for ic10as and for Edge at almost the same time. A bunch of stuff in the shop. AC buys a chainmail, not enough money for that large shield. Going to grab the club as well, and probably going to be similar purchases for Edge. Although it would be a lot nicer if you had hurt more when you showed up here and you could get in through, get into that back door. So unfortunately, that's the downside of pushing exploration early. You might find places that you have to come back to later.
Yeah, I know for me, I didn't have like a hard code of when to start pressing exploration. Getting hurt more definitely helps so you can open the doors, or having enough HP for survivability or taking down treasure guards was kind of the feel that I was going by this week.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is it definitely feels bad to go out into the world at such a time when you run into a treasure guard that you can't fight. And so that's a bigger deal here with treasure guards on. You also, it'd be nice to be able to fight the spike tiles too, but there's level 10 for Destiny, had some good stats on it, but no spells. Sleep, Return, and Hurt More, the remaining spells. And that skeleton is worth 258. That is the big ticket kill. It looks like the way the zones are lined up that it's that the zone boundary is right next to Tanagal. So yeah, those couple of tiles that you found there, Destiny, are the big money.
Yeah, fortunate to stumble upon that. I always feel like when that happens that I'm late or slow to find the golden goose. Turns out not so much in this case, so that worked out pretty well, and then that just solidifies the decision for me where skeletons aren't going to be running as quickly as like the slimes and those enemies will be, so yeah, I'll sit here and knock out some more 200 plus experience at a crack for a while.
Yeah, and yeah, nothing to complain about at all with that skeleton. It does have that 25% heal more, but when you've got a lot of attack power, that doesn't matter a whole lot. And that level 11 poured on another 38 MP, which will add a lot of survivability while walking across the swamp.
Edge now has taken enough of the exploration, is going to stick around and grind up some more levels. I wonder if ic10as is going to do the same here as well. We'll find out in a moment. Yep, okay, all 4 players are grinding.
Yeah, it looks like Edge and Icy not overly impressed with what they found out in the world. A whole lot of swamp and not a lot else, at least not until you can unlock some doors. They do have that chainmail though, which will won't do a whole lot here. Icy has the club for bashing stuff, which might help marginally. And there's Hurt More at level 12. Destiny is the first to have that available. I'm going to go straight back into Tanagal to start opening some doors. And in the treasury, we've got a key, another key, and some gold. So there is conceivable gold grind set up if you die out of a big mega dungeon later. Debatable whether it's worth it, but it's there, and we've got a chest across the barrier tiles, and it's a torch.
Meanwhile, Edge and ic10as continuing to explore to the southeast. We're both finding just Sharlock enemies, one of which sent Edge home. ic10as is able to press on a little bit further and finding a few more cooperative enemies, but there's definitely a Sharlock zone to get through the desert past Garenham and Sharlock here. As we find the cave underneath Tanagal.
It is
what was
Swamp
this?
North.
Swamp North.
So, spared from the mega dungeon so far, the swamp cave is not affected by stair shuffle. And ic10as is back out in the world, covering some ground, marching through the swamp as Synth discovers these dual locations. Looks like it was an Axe Knight there on the spike tile in Swamp Cave, worth 157, which is more than in Standard Flags, and it's already a good grind in Standard Flags, so that, yeah, maybe. They don't run away, unlike the stuff in in the starting zones, and Destiny does not want to get the girl this time.
Sorry, Gwalen, I'm taken. Chainmail pickup for Synth, who pushes out some exploration and finds Garenham here, but still doesn't have Hurtmore, I believe, so can't open the doors. And I'm going to sit here and pound out some more Axe Knights here, because even though there are other enemies in the opening zones, and I've already got a lot of experience, I'm like, I've got resources. Let me just knock some more of these out and get some more survivability. It's not going to take that much time.
Yeah, Axe Knights under Tantagel is a nice grind. You can just hammer away at it until you run out of resources. And when you run out of resources, you just die and walk right back. It's one of the quickest refills you can possibly get. And we also get to see on Destiny's screen the Swamp South exit, which looks to be in the southeast corner of the map, but he's low on MP here, and nothing but swamp all the way to the horizon. Doesn't look like there's anything on this second continent.
Just an Isle of Nothing, although there are a couple of hill tiles. I'm going to take a peek at those, especially seeing there's some defeatable enemies like the Spectre, see what else is in the zone, but yeah, no locations out here.
We just saw on Icy's side Wraiths worth 290. So the skeleton family is paying out big time so far. And those Droll Magi not bad, worth 164.
Synth going to confirm that there is nothing due to the east here. Edge continuing the back and forth grinding at home. I'm continuing grinding on the Island of Nothing. ic10as finds the Droll Magi where he's exploring, so gets the benefit. Oh, except got stop spelled on the Hurtmore. Still going to take it down and get some experience. Another big boost there from level 13 for me here.
Edge grabs level 12 and is the second player to have Hurtmore, and he is on his way to these two locations. Must have forgotten which one was Garenham, because I know he's been there. He pops back into Jerk Cave with no business there.
And that can be tricky with the disguised overworld locations. Yep, now heading west, and as soon as the encounters stop slowing them down, should get back into Garenham, and we'll have our first check of what's behind Garenham. Do we have any chests, and what's the cave underneath?
Yeah, kind of interesting seeing that those masked overworld locations really coming into play, but right now Edge is kind of stuck on this Axe Knight. And Synth bites the dust. I didn't see what got him. No. First thing Edge is going to do is head back to the equipment shop and grab himself a broadsword, which is a big upgrade. A little less significant now that you have Hurtmore, but still worth the few steps to get it. And he walks right by that door and doesn't open it.
Oh no, that could not have been intentional. He must have forgot about that. That's a problem when you encounter Garenham and Cantlin without keys, or in this case without keys or Hurtmore, is you kind of mark it off, you found that location on your map and all that, but then you don't necessarily think, well, I didn't completely explore that. I've been burned as well. As ic10as came across Grave and confirmed there's no chest in the bottom left and gets sent right back home by a red dragon.
Now, this would not be the first time this week that a player has forgotten that Hurtmore Doors is on. I think in my first couple practice seeds in this flag set, I didn't know Hurtmore Doors was on. So that is just, I mean, it's a huge pile up of flags in this race, and that's one that could slip your mind in the heat of the race. But ic10as did not forget, and he is headed back here, going to end up in that swamp cave, same as Destiny. have not seen anyone. Edge does, or Icy does not forget that NPC Guillotine is off. Dutifully stares at that guard until he moves out of the way.
We've been seeing a lot of that on the vodcast this afternoon and evening of NPCs not cooperating. I think it was last race that the coal NPCs were being especially trolly. They must have the additional confidence when they know that NPC Guillotine is not on.
Yes, this game is smarter than any.
I swear the game knows. It hears us when we're talking and when things are happening. Somehow it knows. ic10as peeks into the bottom of Swamp here as well. Synth should shortly as well. Edge finds a new location, Hawksness.
Yeah, Hawksness very much on your mind. That's one of the things in this flag set is, you know, with Stair Shuffle on, the question is, do you go into the caves and risk a huge excursion for nothing, or do you skip them and just go around looking for the search spots? And finding Hawksness is going to take care of that a little bit. Gonna reduce the variety of options available.
I just confirmed in the item shop, I don't know if we'd seen it yet on stream, but 0 herbs is the maximum carry. So I picked up my first herb and he said nope. And Edge takes down the guard in Hawksness and is rewarded with Erdrick's sword.
Yeah, he manipulated it into his seed by buying that broadsword. Immediately replaced. I'm not sure if he swung it a single time, but he is now equipped with the sharpest sword in the land of Alefgard, and will have no further need to upgrade his weapon.
The game knows, dude. The game knows.
And Synth is grabbing the princess, so if it turns out that we have some bad coordinates, he will be well situated. And here we have a wizardly treasure guard in the back of Garenham right as Edge gets chopped down by the armored knight. It is Erdrick's token.
And Fighter's Ring also in the back of Garenham. Edge gets sent back home. That could be a blessing in disguise if this is an opportunity for Edge to realize he hasn't checked the back of Garenham, especially since I've just confirmed that back of Garenham is totally required with Erdrick's token, and possibly more with whatever's under here, which is Stone's Cave, 2 free chests.
I'm sure Edge will come back once he has a key, but that might not be for a while. And then a torch and some cash money in the generous old man cave behind Garenham.
Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe Edge doesn't think that Hurt More Doors is on, doesn't realize that, so he's intentionally not checking Garenham. Interesting. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it that way.
That was my thought. Yeah, he probably forgot about that flag or just didn't know about it. And Synth on his way to turn in the princess and have access to geographical information.
ic10as also with a preemptive princess rescue, but doesn't return home right away. Is going to clear knowledge of the empty second continent.
Yeah, I always hate walking around with her too much, just in case of the scenario where you find Cantlen and you get coordinates that seem like they're kind of near Cantlen and you've got the princess in your arms and it's like, can't you just tell me where I am, while we're here? Why do I have to take you all the way back to the castle and then come all the way back? But yeah, I guess, I don't know, she needs to sleep in her own bed for it to, for the powers to come online.
Quick level check. I'm up at level 14, about halfway to 15. Synth is on the cusp of level 13. I think Edge was at, we know ic10as is at 13. Edge, yep, did hit 14 here. So a little bit of difference on the levels. Synth will hit 13, so we'll have 2 at 13 and 2 at 14.
Yeah, Edge is behind a little bit on experience, but it's hard to say that he's really behind in substance because there's just so many high value enemies all over this overworld, and the stats are already pretty close. So it could be, you know, we're only 20 minutes in. It could be that by the time all of the quest items are found, oh, he searches the Sparkover Island. I haven't seen anyone do that in a while. It could be that once all the quest items are found, that you know, he'll be good to go, and it won't really matter, you know, whether he was 1,000 experience points behind it, you know, 15 minutes ago.
That's very true. Experience is not difficult to come by. The hardest part with the enemies, it seems, in this seed is avoiding some of those nasty Sharlock enemies and trying to run from them and having them slow you down as you're trying to get through desert tiles. But experience is all over the place between the opening zones at home. We saw that the spike enemy, the Axe Knight, is favorable, and a lot of favorable enemies out here. So there is potential to over level, and maybe that's the risk that I've taken here, already at level 15, but behind a bit on the exploration.
Unfortunately, the thing that I think is going to keep Edge from winning this race is he definitely does not know about the Hurtmore doors. He just walked right by a chest in Breckenary that he could have easily grabbed. And that's another thing about this flag set that makes the random chest locations actually make the stair shuffle dungeons a lot less appealing, because now there's so many treasure chests in places besides the caves. You know, in regular chest locations, it's like, you know, the 3 in Garenham and the search spots, you know, that you're looking for. In here, it's, you know, potentially 10 chests that aren't even in the caves that could have your stuff. So it kind of keeps you out of the caves even more. And he searches another Sparkover Island, nothing there either.
I love dedication to memes there from Edge. ic10as in the back of Garenham is going to pick up Airdrick's token as well.
No signs so far of the harp or the stones, or the armor for that matter.
Armor sure would be nice with Big Swamp.
Yeah, and where you really start sweating in Stair Shuffle is when, you know, the overworld is almost clear and you're missing one of your sword or your armor. And you're thinking like, you know, do I fully clear these dungeons looking for armor before I go into Sharlock? You know, finding armor inside Sharlock could be a massive operation. Big adventure to go through all those rooms, you know, and yeah, you just don't know where all the junk is going to be. You know, there's probably going to be a ton of chests. Almost always plenty of chests in the basement of Sharlock. You know, so that's just more stuff to weigh. You know, you don't even know where all the chests are.
A lot of effort from Edge to take down that blue dragon with sleep, and is only rewarded with 113 experience. Synth now makes his way into Garenham, connects up the fighter's ring, and presumably will be picking up the token from the treasure guard here in a moment.
Oh man, the skeleton family was looking so promising, and then you just took down a Wraith Knight and it gave 7. The disappointing sibling there. Besides, even the Demon Knight was pretty good, but not the Wraith Knight.
I think it's trying to be renamed. Instead of the Wraith Knight, rename it the Spite Knight.
Also, I like that chest. Very well guarded chest, just not by monsters. That torch there in between the 2 guards and behind a locked door. It's a great chest spot.
We have seen a treasure guard in that spot this week. Hilarious that there's just a monster hanging out in there with those 2 guards.
I just didn't notice him.
Very strange things here in Alfguard and Dragon Warrior Randomizer.
Man, we have not yet seen a hint of the actual Stair Shuffle caves yet. We found a number of caves. I think we may have seen every cave that isn't one of the shuffled caves, and none of the ones that are. So it's any moment now. We'll be down there in the dark.
And this map is really starting to all run together. Like, I'm seeing ic10as just walk through a big blob of swamp. I have no idea, even though I played this myself, where anyone really is in relation to the map. It all kind of runs together. Big swamp and small map are deceptively tricky seeds for figuring out the world. Edge finds Oxus again.
We have ourselves a stair shuffle. You are in the grave. Decide to cast that radiant spell. No chests over on the left side, and we'll see there's a couple more spots up here on this top floor where the chests can be, and after that it's down into the darkness if you can survive this red dragon.
ic10as just a step behind me also found grave, and Edge finds Remalder and is going to pick up keys, so Edge will grant himself access behind doors. Ambush and hurt more on the green dragon sends me home. I'm unable to check the top chest locations in grave or check under the stairs if I had felt like it. There's at least one chest there from ic10as, no guard, and it's empty. So I don't know that there's nothing valuable there, but I am panicking and thinking, oh no, that was an awful death. I might have just walked away from Erdrick's sword or Erdrick's armor. Not a good death for me from my perspective in the middle of the race. And Synth, look at this, we're all kind of cluttered around the same area, except Edge, who's in Remalder. Synth now finds grave as well.
Man, and now ic10as, he had over 50 MP when he first entered the grave. He is now down to 28 and trying to run away from a red. Needs all 4 attempts to get away. I think he was on his 4th there, but he did opt to heal more.
That's very true, Quinn, because by comparison, Synth has 71 MP. Synth can dive this cave for as long as he potentially wants, as long as the red dragons let him get away at some point, which, with the mercy rule on, should happen here.
This is a straight up Sharlock zone up here with just red dragons and green dragons. And oh, that sucks. Grave is just a dead end, and ic is out of there, so that could be a big problem for you if you decide to go back there, and that'd just be a total waste of time.
Yeah, even though that there's nothing there, knowledge is power, and ic10as and possibly Synth here in a moment will have that additional knowledge of grave being a complete nothing. Oh, Synth does not. Synth says, I'm not even going to take a peek and dive down the stairs. I'm getting out of here. Interesting choice compared to ic10as, who took a peek.
But Edge has found the Mountain Cave, and Mountain Cave is sure to give us a nice dungeon to explore with all those stairs. And oh yeah, that's a hub room there. Edge nopes out of it, decides to do more of a breadth-first search. Try out these other stairs, check this chest location. He's got 81 MP to burn, so in a pretty strong position, and there is a chest here, but no guard. It is the flute.
Edge gets fluted, and with so many stair possibilities, and with grave being a dead end, oh yeah, look at this. We've hit mega dungeon territory with grave 2.
Oh yeah, Mountain Cave is where it's at. This is okay, and that is the inner Sharlock basement 1 room, which is probably the worst room in the game. In terms of getting lost in it. It's got lots of stairs, lots of chests, and it's kind of an odd shape that makes it hard to remember where you've been and where you haven't. I just talk about the stairs. I use like the like a map that has all of the staircases labeled with letters, and I talk about like the E stair and the I stair and the H stair. That's how I make sense of this room, but it does have at least 1 treasure chest in it. No treasure guard in its wing.
Okay, just wings. Meanwhile, Synth finds Hawksness.
You got a red dragon there on the spike. I'm not sure if we've seen under the spike tile here in Hawksness. We're gonna... It was 35. No, this was definitely searched before. It's, okay, yeah, right. That's the sword. Yeah, Edge was there ages ago.
Now that I've bought my broadsword, I now have access to Hawksness for Erdrick's sword, apparently. Yep.
And Edge has found the font of treasure that is Mountain 2. Hasn't found anything significant in here yet, I don't think. Still no treasure guard. There's a treasure guard, potentially, probably, Star Wyvern. And Edge thinks about it, then menus hurt more, and yeah, we're gonna get to see something important here. This could be big for Edge. It is the armor. That is a massive discovery. It's big knowledge, too. You know, there's a universe where you could consider someone who hasn't been down here making the calculated risk to go into Sharlock instead of checking this. So yeah, that's an enormous find for Edge.
Edge also picked up the Death Necklace in there as well. Yeah, big advantage for Edge, who now has Erdrick's armor and Erdrick's sword, the two searchable quest items that actually benefit you while you're walking around. So big survivability. It's fascinating how the key mix-up early on hasn't set Edge too far behind at the moment. At some point, have to go back to Garenham and get token, but we assume that'll happen at some point.
Yeah, that'll be pretty quick for him. It's near straight. It's right by Sharlock. He's going to end up back there. So yeah, I mean, good position for Edge so far. It would be better if he remembered his Hurt Mordors, but oh boy! But now he's slept by the Armored Knight. Swings on it after a Hurt More and brings it down for 148 as Synth steps back into the grave. And leaves again. Destiny is in. Hawksness fighting the red. And Icy is out in the world. And yeah, the levels have kind of converged. It's looking like the experience differential is not going to be a huge deal in this one, although 16 looks a lot better than 15. And it looks like also, according to chat, that Edge picked up the Death Necklace down there in that Mountain 2 as well. So that, I mean, yeah, finding Mountain 2 is a big deal in Stair Shuffle in general, and massive in this seed in particular.
I think we're getting our first peek at the Brecconary with the item in the inn. It's just a key. ic10as being out of resources and a couple hundred experience away from the level chooses to stay at the inn, which establishes Brecconary as ic10as return point for the moment. Meanwhile, I stumble onto Cantlin. I believe I'm the first person here in Cantlin, so presumably going to have a coordinates check here in a moment.
Yeah, that's security 101 for Icy. Always lock up your keys. And now you're gonna... Yeah, I think Cantlin is the big find right now. Potential for a big search here with the harp and the stones. Still unknown.
I alternated between using keys and Hurtmores there because I was adamant about not staying at an inn at another location, with Sharlock being close to home, if I could at all avoid it. And we get the information that there's no coordinates.
Go forth and fight. So that narrows down the possibility for where stones and harp can be. And ooh, Edge has a gold grind set up, so he may very well end up with a silver shield in hand, which might make a solid difference if this Sharlock takes a long time to explore.
That's fascinating, especially already having the advantage of finding Erdrick's armor in the most not the most obvious place to check. So even if all else being equal, this might be the least efficient move to gold grind in this flag set or at this point in the game, Edge is in a position that we know, seeing this as observers, that he kind of has that advantage of having Erdrick's armor and can afford for that, take the time to get that additional defense.
And he had not checked the treasury yet, so he was going to go in there either way. So I think that's, you know, as far as gold grinds though, that's about as good as it gets. I don't know if he's had eyes on a silver shield yet. That'd be the other thing. If he doesn't know where the silver shield is at, or if there even is one, then this could end up being, you know, a lot of wasted time, unfortunately. But I don't know, maybe someone in chat knows if there's been a Silver Shield sighting yet in this seed.
Synth is now in Mountain Cave, so if Synth pushes this, which I think he will, like Mountain 2 is not... Mountain 2 came out of here, right? Like, one of these ways, if he's able to press it and get Erdrick's armor, this will be a big step for Synth as well to kind of get neck and neck with Edge on that piece of knowledge and exploration. Meanwhile, ic10as finds Hawksness, so ic10as will pick up his Erdrick sword, and all 4 players will have sword in hand.
Yeah, the issue, though, is that there are a lot of branching path rooms between the top of mountain and the bottom of mountain, so Synth could potentially be lost in here for a while, and he deliberately throws away a torch in order to obtain the fairy flute. A premeditated self-fluting.
Edge also with a preemptive princess rescue and is going to clear Second Continent. Has not been this way yet. So maybe this will be an opportunity for the others to catch up a bit on the exploration, except Synth gets out here without getting Erdrick's armor, bailed on the cave complex, unfortunately.
Oh, that is a knife in the heart, as we know. That's a, I mean, geez, how long does it take him to decide to go back there? And he's gonna have to do it before he finishes. That's, that is a calamity for Synth's chances of winning this race.
There's a lot yet to be played, but yeah, that's unfortunate for Synth. I mean, it's a logical decision. You see that mega dungeon, you see that you find Grave 2. It's like, I'm not spending time in here unless I have to. So it's objectively not a bad move, but unfortunately with this way that this seed has played out, it is going to be a loss here of not getting Erdrick's armor until who knows when.
Yeah, from his point of view, it makes sense because, like, you don't know if there are any chests down there at all. But meanwhile, Destiny, you get level 17 with some single-digit gains and the sleep spell, and now you are in, you know, go, go, go mode, mega go mode in terms of stats. Just need to find those last few items.
I was adamant to sit there for a moment and grind up to the next level so that I could finish exploring the cave here and also not stay at an inn anywhere. I was determined to keep my return location back to Tantagel.
Man, Edge fighting armored knights with that big pile of cash in his pocket still hasn't found his silver shield purchase. He's also walking around with the princess, so he's got he's risking it all, you know, hanging it all on the line on this particular life. He is, you know, level 15 and he has the armor, so he's pretty likely to stay alive here, but man, just carrying his whole life on his back.
He's got the girl, he's got the money. He doesn't need the ball of light. I think Edge should just get the 5 points right now.
He's living life like a rock star, just fast and hard. No bank account, you know, just big wad of cash in his pocket, and he arrives. Is there a silver shield here in Garenham? There is not. And the fact that he went here leads me to believe that he has not laid eyes on a silver shield, so that could end up being pretty complicated for him.
But importantly, does remember to check the back of Garenham to pick up Erdrick's token. So Edge avoids a blunder there of not finding tokens. So Edge staying ahead of the game, even up with that exploration. Now has token just like everyone else, but has that Erdrick's armor advantage. Meanwhile, I'm diving this cave complex dead end room here. Synth is in Cantlin, gonna get the no coordinates information. Also joined by ic10as in Cantlin.
And oh no, you also just clicked, was that mountain cave that you just clicked outside on? And also leaving without armor.
That was, I don't know if they connect, but the top of that was tablet. Yeah, so Mountain Cave is to the north from here. So I have not seen Mountain 1 yet.
Okay. Yes, that's not quite as bad. Doesn't look like you got anything valuable in that tablet cave, but right next door in coal is the silver harp. Synth gets the news about the command to go and fight, and casts some heal more to get back out of this this little corner of pain in Cantlin, and ic10as just got his lack of coordinates information, but Edge still the only one with the armor. And you got to think, you know, you've been playing for 10 minutes as the only one with the armor. You start feeling pretty good about your chances in the race. But here he's handing in the princess, so yeah, he's gonna feel silly about that when he reaches Cantlin and sees that there are no coordinates at all.
Yeah, this map was fascinating. Besides Garenham and the trade-in caves and Breckenary kind of along the way, all of the other locations were on the complete opposite side of the map from Tantagel. All of them somewhat close to each other, a little bit north and a little bit south from each other, but it's a long distance to get to Townsville and Cavesville here.
Now, I'm a little behind Icy here. I have just now noticed that those armored knights are packing sleep. Icy had already stop spelled that one, so apparently that is something that at least he has encountered. And I know Edge was sparring with an armored knight a while ago. He may have seen that that sleep cast, and that could make our Sharlock adventure pretty interesting, or any future. Although I don't know if we have any big cave dives left, or if there are armored knights down that mountain cave that 3 of our 4 runners still have some work to do in. And Edge did hurt more a door. Apparently he remembered and is probably kicking himself.
Yay! Good for Edge, even though I'm sure that was a bit disappointing if he put it all together. ic10as and Synth continuing their lockstep exploration, both in the town of Cole. I know ic10as did pick up the harp. I think Synth will, here momentarily.
So that just leaves the big question, where the heck are the Stones of Sunlight? It's gotta be in one of these treasure chests somewhere, but what have we not seen? Are there more? Now, Destiny, you are in Mountain Cave soon to hopefully find your armor. Is there another obscure path down one of these branching path rooms that will lead to the Stones of Sunlight?
I honestly can't remember where Stones was. My memory is awful.
And yes, Utah Monarch in chat, this is a winner-take-all race. 15 points will be the cutoff to make the playoffs. So the winner will have either 15 or 15.5, which will be enough. Second place will have either 13 or 13.5, which will not be enough. So the winner goes to the playoffs. The other 3 will go home.
Synth has found Tablet Cave here. See how much digging Synth does. While I'm continuing the adventure through Mountain Cave into the Sharlock rooms that it connects to.
And Edge is back into the grave. I guess, yeah, because he was confused about how the keys worked. He hasn't gone downstairs yet, and he'll be out of here pretty quick once he sees that dead end.
I just took down a treasure guard in this room, and that is where the Stones of Sunlight is. So the stones are also in the Mountain Cave complex.
Oh my. That means that Edge is going to have to go back there too, and now that puts you in a pretty darn good spot, Destiny, as long as you can get your armor before you leave. Mountain Cave Homework Industrial Complex, yeah. A Kafkaesque labyrinth of dungeon rooms leading to many, many very important discoveries.
So the big difference here with Edge is Edge has not seen Cole to get the silver heart. That is the one piece that the other three runners have over Edge, as well as Edge needing to go back to Mountain Cave Complex eventually and pick up the Stones of Sunlight.
Man, what a gift this seed has been. A true Stair Shuffle Mega Dungeon. Just absolutely packed to the gills with stuff that you need. And, oh, what are you going to do, Destiny? You are out of there. No armor. So that, oh man, you could have locked this one in, but just like that, it is thrown back up in the air. It's all about who gets back there and gets both items, both necessary items out first.
Yeah, that's a blunder from me, because I also, since I took the death earlier in Grave, I had not seen what was underneath Grave, so I was expecting that armor is likely somewhere down under Grave if it's anywhere like that, or possibly in Sharlock. I think those were the only locations that I had not otherwise have cleared. Yeah, so abandoning Mountain without armor.
And Edge going all over the map. Unfortunately, his forgetting about Hurt More Doors is costing him big time, because he's going all over the map, hitting spots with doors that he missed before, and there he grabs a Dragon Scale in Hawksness. But then grabs level 16 off of that Wraith and going to get a bunch more nice stats. Probably going to look at that and go, yeah, I can stop fighting stuff now. And there's level 16 for Synth, so the experience points converging. I have no idea who is going to win this one.
ic10as about to take down the Armor Knight, and we'll be pretty close to level 16 as well. So Edge, Synth, and ic10as all close to 16. I'm at 17. So pretty close on levels. I'm a bit ahead there, but man, abandoning armor there is quite a difference.
Yeah, and Synth has pulled a huge turnaround here by going back to Mountain Cave. That's really the most important thing right now, is to be in Mountain Cave, going through these rooms and trying to find these last two things. And thankfully, Synth menus Radiant and not outside there, because he needs to keep exploring. And ic10as is also in there. So yeah, big potential for, I'd say for the majority of this race, it was looking like there's going to be someone on the left side of the screen, but now the right side of the screen is back into it. But Destiny going to grab his Staff of Rain, going to be the first one with all three homework items ready to go. The only one who knows about the Stones of Sunlight being here in the Mountain Cave Labyrinth.
Edge gets the no coordinates information. Edge also, from what I recall, has not seen Tablet Cave. Tablet Cave is tucked down there by Cole. So Edge, if he finds Tablet and Cole first before returning to Mountain, that'll be good for the sake of getting the harp out of Cole, but could be lost time by dipping into Tablet and starting to explore that. Not as big of a cave complex, it seems, but definitely had some rooms to it.
Some nasty piece of work zones down here too. We got Green Dragon on top, Axe Knight on bottom. There's definitely red dragons around in some of those rooms. There's, you know, whole rooms. That's one of the things that makes Stair Shuffle really tough, is that it puts the Sharlock rooms into the rotation, so you can be wandering around in Grave or Mountain Cave, and then, you know, go into a Sharlock room with enemies that are crazy strong. But now Destiny has gone into Sharlock, presumably looking for that armor, and this is a big, well, an incorrect guess. I guess this is going to take him a lot of time. The only thing that you can hope to gain here, Destiny, is knowledge of how to get to the bottom of Sharlock. But man, lots of potential to wander around these corridors for ages looking for treasure chests.
Yeah, that's what my logic was at this point. I knew that there was a couple of different cave complexes that armor could be in. I figure if I take my chance on Sharlock, number one, there's potentially a lot of chests in the basement and possibly a few others along the way. And then number two, even if I come out empty-handed without armor, I will have already gone through the process of figuring out my way to the bottom of Sharlock.
Synth has the Stones of Sunlight in his pocket. All he has to find now is Erdrick's armor. Icy gets the armor. It's now looking like the race might be between the two of them.
That's amazing how they're finding each of the items in the same complex, but like the opposite items in the opposite way. Hopefully neither of them bails on this like I did. Wow.
Yeah, I'm thinking like none of these four runners can be feeling great about how this race has been going for them. Just problems of some kind on all four, but yeah, I mean, if you're Icy or you're Synth, you know, you're on the right track, and you probably don't know it at this point.
Yeah, responding to Utah Monarch in chat, that's exactly it. And especially with the stakes being so high with a winner-take-all type of race, I had the race room open on my other screen to, like, just the moment that another player finishes, your heart just sinks, and especially as the seed goes on and you're looking for, like, one last item, you just got a gut feeling that at any moment you're going to see someone else be done at any time while you're still wandering around trying to figure out something. Heart was pounding for sure.
Synth has found the Cave of Wonders. He is in Mountain 2. He's got his Death Necklace, gonna have his armor very soon. How long does it take for Icy to find the Stones of Sunlight now? Looks like Edge is back into the mountain cave, and if he sticks with it and meticulously, systematically explores all of these paths, or no, he already has his Stones of Sunlight. He needs to get out of there and get his heart from Cole. Icy just asked the princess's advice, even though we do not have random experience requirements, so from the inside of this cave, she can tell him nothing that we don't already know.
That's funny. Yeah, that's really unfortunate for Edge because meanwhile, while Synth, Icy, and I are searching for an item that is difficult to find, digging through all the dungeons, Edge is missing an item that's just sitting on the ground in coal.
Yeah, Edge has just been behind on hitting all of the overworld stuff, largely downstream of his mistake regarding the keys, and also his early exploration of Mountain Cave, which was good for him because it got him the armor. But yeah, now not knowing about Cole, you know, and that's tough. You know, how confident are you if you're Edge that you've seen everything in this cave, and now Synth has everything. He needs to get out. He needs to smash the outside button and get out of there. I don't know why he's still walking around. There is nothing left for him to find.
I think ic10as bailed without the Stones of Sunlight, unfortunately.
Oh, is that man? This, wow. These runners are really getting bit by the stair shuffle on this one. And I mean, this is looking like if Synth can get out of there and get his trade-ins done, the door is wide open for him. And there he clicks outside, has just enough MP, gets out of there, and hopefully can get to a town or get back to a castle or something, get his MP back, find those trade-ins, and get a move on.
And Synth is far away from the next level up to get that level up refill. Wow, just using the resources as much as possible. Is forced to have maybe an inn. Yeah, gonna stay at the inn here, so that's gonna establish Cantlin as Synth's return point. Meanwhile, I'm still dedicated to figuring out Sharlock here, now taking the right set of stairs.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the return points in this one, because Sharlock is pretty darn close to start. You're probably better off just like taking the healing and the benefits that come with, you know, being able to explore at full resources. versus the few seconds that you would save, maybe 20 or 30 seconds that you would save being able to return straight to the castle. And yeah, Synth still fighting stuff definitely with level 17 in mind. I think 16 looks pretty solid. But I mean, Destiny, you're level 18. Holy cow. You're the Dragon Lord is quaking. If only you had Erdrick's armor.
And halfway to level 19.
And yeah, just brutal to hit all of these chests down here and not find Erdrick's armor. Just brutal. But you do now have the knowledge of how to get to the bottom, at least, which might save a little bit in the end, but it's starting to seem like by then it'll be too late.
Yeah, checking Charlock here was an aggressive play, and that's kind of the mindset that I had with the winner-take-all situation, that I knew I had to be aggressive and might have to take some chances to be able to compete here with so much at stake.
Man, 140 attack power, put on the death necklace, get to 150, maybe just give it a try. You never know. Dragon Lord might be feeling very punchy, might forget how to breathe. Maybe you got a shot. Oh, but you don't have the death necklace either. You could try it. I mean, 140 is almost as good as 150.
Yeah, if you math it out, without Erdrick's armor, Dragon Lord breath maximum is 72, so to avoid having like a double heal more situation with max breath, you'd need 145 hit points and then rely on lower breaths and some swings along the way. So 145 is like right on the cusp of that maximum where you can get away with that with the maximum damage out of the Dragon Lord. And no beach chest today.
Looks like Icy is still, or is back into Mountain Cave looking for his stones. Synth is still opening chests. I got no clue what he's looking for. He needs to get his trade-ins done. He can win this race, but he needs to focus. Utah Monarch, are you referring to the guy in Charlock on Destiny's screen? Because that is the Charlock Inn, which is a flag we have on. You can, for 100 gold, you can get yourself a full heal over there by the armory. And Destiny gonna get himself the level up refill instead, and maybe try it unarmored.
That's exactly what I was thinking, with the fear that, okay, Erdrick's armor isn't here, it's going to be in one of the cave complexes on the complete opposite side of the world. I'm already here, I'm in front of the Dragon Lord. How quickly can I get to the next level, and how much of a chance do I have with this bailing on Erdrick's armor altogether? Maybe YOLO mores, and if enough hit points and favorable swings, and getting some melee damage from the Dragon Lord instead of DL2 breath. As I was calculating that out and hoping for good stat gains and level up refill and see what happens.
Yeah, if there's a big MP gain here, it could start ending up looking pretty likely to win without armor. It's really the only stat here that's not like huge is the MP, and that's kind of the one that you want to be way off the charts for an armorless DL2 fight. But man, 140 attack, I mean, that's a lot. You got, you're way up on the number of swings. Unfortunately, those blue dragons are casting sleep, which is pretty annoying. But let's see what we got here on level 19. This could be interesting. 4 strength, 10 hit points, 10 MP. All right, let's see. You are going for it. Let's see how this goes.
I'll let you call this, Quinn.
All right, let's see if I can keep a count. That's 12, which is a pretty lousy roll. But there's a 20. We're at 32. Another 11, which is really low on this attack power, but healing up to that max of 154. And a 21 swing is a big swing that gets to 64. It's looking pretty good so far, but the Dragon Lord, you know, has to cooperate. There's a 17. Gets us to 81, so already more than halfway there, or about halfway there if he max rolls. There's a 16. We're up to 97. And yeah, able to swing there on 74 at 22. These swings are really good. We're up to 119. But we're down in the red HP, so the Dragon Lord, if he breathes a lot of fire, could keep Destiny down. 16, we're at 135. 4 heal mores left now, 3. This should be good. There's a 13, that's a pretty low roll. We're at 148 though, and the Dragon Lord goes down. Get your GGs out for Destiny, who has beaten the Dragon Lord, won the race without Erdrick's armor. I have never seen that in a tournament race before.
I was a little excited.
Yeah, that's I did that once in a practice seed on like it was like an open Charlock flag set or something years ago, and I like clipped it and everything. That is insane.
Thank you. Yeah, I finished Chaos Seeds without Erdrick's armor, where you can put Stop Spell on the Dragon Lord, and if it starts throwing sleeps and heals, you can get by without Erdrick's armor if you have other adequate resources, but never in a non-random monster stat flag like this. It's pretty proud of pulling that off, and the gamble surely paid off here, where even if armor wasn't in Charlock, I at minimum got the information to get to the bottom, and in this case I was so over leveled that with armor it's like, well, I'm almost at the point of being leveled without armor, so this is my chance. I can't just bail on this and go wander around in Grave on the other side of the map for 10 minutes. Meanwhile, while that was all happening, Synth and ic10as finished their homework. They're going to be on their way to Charlotte. Synth rolls right into the basement, so very, very well done there by Synth. Even though the winner-take-all aspect has been decided, we'll still see how the rest of this race plays out between Synth, ic10as, and Edge.
Yep, still points to play for. And unfortunately, Edge just no closer to Cole to find his harp. Just, yeah, really, really tough exploration for him. And yeah, as Beta was saying in chat, really, like, the math there was pretty solid. You would expect to win against the Dragon Lord there without armor, but it's just the whole strategy of it, seeing that as an option, and then out-leveling everyone else in the race by 2, doing it without Erdrick's armor and beating opponents who do have Erdrick's armor. I mean, it's a pretty statistically extraordinary outcome.
Yeah, it's a heartbreaker for Edge. I mean, Edge was the first with Erdrick's armor. Edge had armor like 30 plus minutes ago, but just has not been able to find Cole. I really wonder how this would have been different if Edge had explored. It's pretty close to everything else. Cole and Tablet down in the bottom, and it felt like Edge did get into the cave complex through Tablet at one point. Might have just been a little bit too south to see Cole. So that's a heartbreaker for Edge, as we see Synth now put on the Death Necklace and is going to begin his Dragon Lord fight with Erdrick's armor equipped.
Yeah, would have been interesting to see the armorless fight at level 18. I think so you finished with 3 Healmores left in the tank, and you got one from level 18, and a little bit of attack power. So it would have been a squeaker on 18. Or you got one from level 19.
Yeah, and the difference being as well was the additional hit points, where I went from 145 to 155 maximum. Being at 155 max, taking some Dragon Lord breath out of that, I still had the opportunity to swing. Doing that from like the 140s, much less likely, or not being able to heal up. Yeah, it would have been much tighter, as well as the 4 additional attack power playing a role. So might have still worked, but it definitely worked for me at the next level. As Synth is going on to the Dragon Lord fight, ic10as not far behind. Both of them went the right way in Sharlock, so they had that go favorably for each of them.
And barring a mismenu, nothing can stop Synth here. His attack power is off the charts. Got plenty of HP, plenty of Healmores left, and yeah, down goes the Dragon Lord. Get your GGs out for Synth. He had 4 Healmores left in the tank. And recovers the Ball of Light, and will take home 2nd place in this race. Unfortunately not good enough for a playoff berth, but will finish ahead of Icy and Edge. Edge, it looks like back in that mountain cave again. I don't know what path he thinks he hasn't taken. I mean, if it were me, I'd be going, I am not taking one more step on a brick tile until I found Cole, right?
And not to speak from him, but I know from Synth's perspective, just chatting with him, that he was more disappointed in his week 4 results, in which he finished in 4th place and only earned 1 point, which put him in the position that he was in coming into week 5. As we watch ic10as battle the Dragon Lord.
Yeah, I see Tennis in a similar position to Synth, opting not to put on the Death Necklace, but it won't make a big difference. He's rolling 9 to 18, or yeah, I guess, or 9 to 19 on this Dragon Lord, and has plenty of MP. Nothing but a mismenu can stop him now. Edge opens, continuing to open chest, gets wings out of this chest, and deep in the caves. Looks like he probably won't find his harp before Icy finishes.
Unlikely. Yeah, ic10as here without the Death Necklace is that's the trade-off of getting doubles. I think that's his 2nd double that he just got, being able to swing on 55 hit points. So at this point, it all kind of balances itself out.
Oh, I guess Icy did put on the Death Necklace because he's 148 attack.
Oh yeah. That
yeah, and
that's
yeah,
right. Those weren't doubles.
GG's out for him. ic10as will take home 3rd place for a final score in this Winter League of 12 points, and we'll have to walk home because he had his return point set to Garanham, which is about 15 feet from Charlock, but not a long walk at all.
And then Edge immediately DNF'd at this point, seeing the other 3 finish, and not having any idea where Cole is and where the harp is, and know that he has a ways to go before finishing the C. To give GG's out to Edge. Played this race really well. Just a bit of unfortunate exploration luck and map monstering. Edge was the first to Erdrick's armor, way ahead of everybody else. And wasn't able to take advantage of it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to hear Edge's thoughts. I don't know if he forgot that he hadn't found Cole, maybe. Really feels like he was, like Cole wasn't on his mind, you know, that he wasn't out there looking for it. But yeah, GG's to our runners on this one. Was a really thrilling race with lots of twists and turns and a surprise finish. Congratulations, Destiny. I'll see you in playoffs. With that win, 15.5 points. You even dodged the once possible 15-point plan.
Yeah, it all worked out. It was looking a little hairy for me. I took first place in week 1, got off to a good start, second place in week 2, but then finished in last in week 3 and week 4. So it's been a roller coaster Winter League for me up to this point. And yeah, here's where we get the official DNF from Edge. Again, great Winter League as well for Synth and Edge and ic10as, putting themselves in a position for an opportunity to get into playoffs. Close race here, just coming down to really a non-traditional circumstance where I took a negative into a positive of not finding armor and figured out a way to make it work with the flag sets that were available. And we'll see if Artorias continues to dodge me as we go into week 6 with the playoffs, and yeah, see how quickly I can get eliminated. Well, GG's to the other 3 runners here tonight, Synth, Edge, and ic10as, as well as the runners here on our other vodcasts that we've run this afternoon. Answering the question in chat, there are no more races to broadcast today. However, tomorrow we will have 2 more races to vodcast. Starting at about 4 p.m. Eastern, we will have Group 8, and then at about 6 p.m. Eastern, we will have Group 9, and then following those 2 races, roughly around 8 p.m. Eastern, we will have a quick Week 5 review and a playoffs Week 6 reveal show. So a lot more Dragon Warrior Randomizer Winter League action tomorrow, and then we'll go into the playoffs with the 16 playoff participants starting next week.
Yeah, so don't forget to follow our runners, Destiny of a Dragon Warrior, Synth, Edge, and ic10as. And thank you to our behind-the-scenes restream crew, Velia V on the restream, and NG Dave and Shahali on tracking. Yeah, don't forget to join the DW Randomizer Discord and get ready to watch those races tomorrow and to watch the 3-week playoff bracket that's coming up that will decide the 2026 Winter League champion. Could be you, Destiny. You're not out of it. We all have a shot.
Oh, Quinn, you're being nice, and I appreciate it. But seriously, yeah, it's very exciting, especially with the non-standard event like Winter League. Anything can happen. The flag sets continue to get interesting. Some of the flag sets designed for Week 6 and Week 7 in particular are still fast by design, because some of these faster seeds can be pretty tight and highly competitive, where the pressure is on to be smooth and effective and as efficient as possible in a fast seed. There's just no margin for error. You've really got to be on your A game to make it work and take the top spots and continue to move on.
All right, and it looks like we've got a raid to Edge, who was in this race. Destiny, do you know what Edge is playing?
Edge has some Dungeons and Dragons going tonight, so let's drop in on Edge, who is a participant in this last race. He's a great follow, great guy, does a lot of different retro games and randomizers, and then join us tomorrow starting at 4 p.m. Eastern for the remainder of our Week 5 vodcasts.